We're never gonna get the
Good morning.
Why don't we just put like locking screws on it?
Okay, let's go ahead and get started. Timpani. We are getting close to the end of our timpani unit. So just a couple things regarding grades. So you guys don't get notifications when you get grades on Blackboard, is that accurate? Okay. Your video, I think I said this last time, but your videos are graded. I have your quizzes. They're also graded. Video, Sam, I couldn't download your file for some reason, so you need to resend it.
Okay.
I wrote that on your,
The malapplication one?
yeah, I don't know, there's some, every once in a while this happens where there's some file issue.
Yeah, Blackboard is not the nicest.
Oh, Blackboard. You want your quizzes now or at the end? 1,000,000 points.
Oh, our grading quiz. I thought you said we're taking a quiz, and I was like, oh.
Marco.
Yes.
Here we go.
Alright. Let's go time. I mean, I think that I could get by. Thank you. You feel pretty well equipped.
I found it.
Madeline.
Oh.
I just did that to. Sorry, Maddie.
Oh, it's all right.
I know nobody calls you that. Oh, Tara.
I'll take that.
Alexis. 3.
That's the best when you're looking at it. It's okay. That's embarrassing.
Okay, take a quick look. I'll talk through it in just a second. I meant to have a. Thought I had an extra copy, but I'm gonna look at my laptop. Okay, don't put stuff on timpani. Only I'm allowed to do this.
It's usually really questions.
I'm balancing it just so that it doesn't cause any problems, but it's a very high degree of difficulty.
Is that advanced percussion methods?
That's, yeah, advanced percussion methods. Actually, it's percussion methods apprenticeship.
Oh, there you go. They actually teach you how to do that in your doctorate, right?
Yeah. So I haven't totally mastered that. Okay. Just real quickly on this. Okay, the first page. Basically, if you had the information right, good. If you had the information wrong, bad. On the one hand, it's probably not the end of the world if you don't know the exact typical range of a xylophone. On the other hand, I did tell you this information on the first day and told you to write it down and to study it. So if you didn't, it's kind of on you. Yeah? Grumpy faces. It's okay. For the most part, it's fine though, other than a lot of people missed a lot of ranges. The thing that I was more concerned about is if you still didn't know what kind of mallets you're supposed to use on certain instruments. Okay, so do review that because that is important. So for the most part, we did fun on like marimba, yarn mallets, right? Xylophone, what kind of mallets do we use?
Rubber or plastic.
Rubber or plastic, typically. Okay, vibraphone, what kind of mallets do we use? Usually some kind of yarn cord mallets. So yarn mallets are specifically for vibraphone. Do we use plastic mallets on vibraphone? No, we do not. That's bad for it. Cool. Fill in the blanks. I was shocked how many people got this one wrong. Single stroke rolls are used on keyboard percussion instruments, not buzz rolls, not double strokes. You guys all played single stroke rolls on the instrument when we went through stuff. I've said this word 30 times this semester, you should know it. Okay, number 2, if you watched my lecture video when I was gone, then you would know the answer to these questions. If you didn't, you did not. Stevens, traditional, Burton are 3 types of grip. You just needed to get 2, so I figured if you forgot one, you could still get all the points. But if you didn't watch it, or if you just didn't remember, sorry, but I did do a whole lecture on it, so. What is the highest pitched commonly used keyboard percussion instrument? The glockenspiel. The middle or center of the bar is the best beating spot. Number 5, double stops are executed on a keyboard as blah, 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 blah. Okay, some people wrote harmonies or chords, and I was like, I should just accept that because it's technically true. But I was like, you know what? No, that's not what we called them in class. That's not what I call them in percussion lessons. They're double stops. We never use the word harmonies to describe that. I got picky on this. Okay, describe the challenge, blah, blah, blah. Okay, this was genuinely pretty good. Everyone did a good job of talking about kind of getting the music stand in the correct spot, talking about the challenges of seeing the conductor, seeing the instrument, the bars are small, etc. The one thing a lot of people left out, what do you have written on your?
Safety.
Yes. Okay. So, again, maybe that felt like, okay, yes, but that's kind of a separate thing. But I really do feel like that is helping students actually succeed in reading because they need to know where their hands are going. And from the very beginning, we talked about that being a part of the equation with like, get the music stand in the right spot, get it in the correct range, the height, write in some stickings so that the students know what they're doing. Okay, and then please provide stickings for the attached musical example. I was really pretty lenient with this, even though if you just did right, left, right the whole time, technically that's fine, and I gave you credit for that. It kind of doesn't totally make sense that you wouldn't lead with the left for the rolls when they're going down. So just something to think about. If you didn't put a sticking in for your rolls, like what hand you started with, I took points off for that because you do start all your rolls with one hand or the other, and when you're writing in stickings, you need to know what hand you're starting your rolls with, and that's actually often one of the things that's more important to know because rolls can be trickier to execute, so you lost points for that if you didn't do that. Okay, any questions? Great. Bright, smiling, shining faces. Okay, timpani. So, we've talked quite a bit now about tuning. Talked about ranges of the drums. Last time we talked a lot about kind of stickings and how we play some different rhythmic stuff on the drums, especially moving between the drums. So a couple things we need to go over. The big one is rolls. Talk about rolls today. What kind of rolls do you think we use on timpani? Single stroke rolls. I wonder if that will be on a future quiz or test. One stroke rolls. Risky to write one stroke rolls.
What was the new, like, always pick C answer? What kind of noise?
What?
You know, like, you ever heard that? Like, when they ACT prep you and they're like, I don't know. They're like, pick C. Yeah, what's your answer?
I didn't get any ACT prep.
Oh, no.
Just went in and took it. I didn't know you could study for those things. Okay. So, real quick, what sizes are the drums? What's the biggest one, Marco?
32.
Good. Then, what's this one?
That one.
Good job. Okay, what kind of pedals do we have on these drums?
Balance action.
Should I make you guys all get up and do a woo again?
No.
Or would you just like to generate your own energy?
We'll get there.
I'm energized.
I got
This
this.
is the
I woke
one.
up really enough to feel confident this morning.
Okay, so single stroke rolls. How do we execute a single stroke roll, Sam?
By hitting it once and then doing it again over and over again.
Pretty good. So a rapid succession of alternating strokes, right? What's our ultimate goal, though? What are we trying to do?
Get it complete.
Continuous sound.
Continuous sound works the same. I packed my towels already, so I don't have any towels with me, which is annoying because I want towels. Does anyone happen to have a black hand towel on them?
I lost mine in my car. Let me just.
Tucker Johnson does them as well.
I know because I yelled at all my percussionists for not having black towels. Elizabeth. Okay, you have to, this is actually the most important thing you will learn all semester. You have to have black towels. Okay? Being a percussionist, you don't need sticks, you don't need mallets, you don't need a brain, you need black towels. It's the number one thing you need. Okay? Okay, I'm obviously being a little facetious, but you need black towels. Because if I'm going to put my timpani mallet somewhere,
We have such a nice selection for remedies.
yeah, you need a black towel here. Anytime I'm putting my sticks on a tray, I need a black towel. I need a black towel like all the time. One time I got black towels for Christmas. That's what I wanted. Okay? They were nice. Yeah.
It's like concert black, but for your mallets.
Exactly. Every once in a while you'll see someone be like, I wore a purple shirt and I have a purple towel for my marimba mallets. It's like, all right, Mark, settle down. But black towels.
But so do you match it to your shirt, or is it like just a strictly black towel thing?
You should always have a black towel. I have like a really faded one that's like more like dark blue now because it's really old, and I try not to use that one unless I'm like real desperate. You know, it's like a practice towel. It's not like a performance towel. Okay, little black hand towels. Okay. Tucker got his from Dollar Tree or Dollar, whatever it's called here. Dollar, Family Dollar.
I bet Family Dollar has some hand towels.
They do.
You showed it on that.
Cool. Who's my pianist today?
You're right there.
Just reach across.
It's good practice. Now you can tell Ozzy that you practiced. Yeah.
That's right. If you want to tell him that, I'll support you. I'll write a letter of rec.
There you go.
Okay, if I want a G and a D, G being low, D being high, where should I put them? Ella. A G and a D. You did look like you were in a daze. That's why I called on you.
I'm so sorry.
G, first line on the stat, the bass card.
I feel like I can see it in my mind.
In my mind's eye, I
Like,
see the G.
literally, I'm like, what notes are these? I don't know how to read, but I know the G's and the D's.
Your third eye is open there.
I would put the, you're right, the G lower than,
Mm-hmm.
I would put the G in the,
Okay,
and then the D in the.
good. Anyone else think that's good, bad? Good, yes. Okay, we could put the G on the 32, of course, but then we'd have to put the D, we probably can't get a D on the 29. And so then there's a gap if we put it on the 26, and we don't want that. So middle two drums, perfect. G and D. Can I have a G, please? Sure. Can I have a D, please? Okay, single stroke roll. So on timpani, it's a little easier than a xylophone, right? Because our roll speed can be slower than when we're playing on like a high-pitched Russian keyboard instrument, but it still is proportional to the size of the drum. So something like this speed, it's going to get faster as we go higher. Whereas on the lowest drum, we can roll much slower. Okay, so the first thing is that, again, students want to just, we still need to be relaxed and we need consistent tone, right? Okay, so one thing to think about, and I do this a lot with my students, is dampen the drum and hear what it actually sounds like. It's not work very well for this. Sam, come here. Can you move this chair and you're going to be my Vanna White of sorts. That's from television. Can you move slightly so that, yes. Okay, so this is my roll. Hold your hands on the drum. Like really put them on. Okay, put them in the middle now. This is actually what it sounds like. Digga, 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 digga. But sustained with the drum ringing without Vanna damping my drum. That sounds like a roll that's resonating the whole time, right? Do it again. Hands up. So this is really all we need to achieve to get the roll to sound good. So what we don't want to, right, that's what you're going to hear a lot of. And granted, it's actually hard to play like consistent single strokes like this, so students will have a hard time with it, but let's make sure that's what we're trying to get. It's not like rocket scientist what they're supposed to be doing. It's hard to get there, but that's true for any instrument, right? Okay, who wants to play a roll? Go. What do we think? Okay, let's hear a pianissimo roll. Good. Okay, let's hear a fortissimo roll. Ooh, that's weak. Let's hear it louder. Call that fortissimo?
Want it louder?
Yeah, that's like forte minus. Okay, that's getting better. Quality of sound, better or worse when it's loud? Worse. Okay, it's harder to do it loud. Why is that? Yeah, I don't know. There's no specific answer. I just want to see what you guys would say. Yeah, it's harder to move your hands all the way and keep it consistent. And also, yeah, this is a specific answer actually. But also the drum, right? We talked about the trampoline thing. The drum is bouncing more. The head is bouncing more when we're playing loud. So let's get Jaden up here. Get some energy.
Woo.
Okay, let's hear a roll on the G. Good. Okay, look at the drum. Okay, Tara, what might you say? Yep. Other than trying to switch off the
One
stick.
of those days.
One hand maybe is a little bit stronger than the other.
Okay, I also see your left hand going further into the drum. So again, we want them proportional distance from the rim and from the center, right, equal. Once more. Okay, nice. Now I half note, and then you're gonna release on the D. So ba ba. 1, 2, ready, go. 2. Do it again. 1, 2, ready, go. Okay, not bad, right? Who's up? Izzy. Again, it'd be easier if we had 6 sets of timpani.
Only.
Okay, do the same thing. Ba, ba. 1, 2, ready, go. Okay. Do it again. Actually, just roll on G. Go. Keep going. And what do you think?
I would tell you to roll a little slower so it can be more consistent.
Yeah, maybe just roll a little slower. Somewhere in between. Yeah. Okay, so already that's better, right? Consistent. The less we can have. Right. The less John Coltrane, the more. The better for this context. In general, John Coltrane's great. Okay, one more time. Okay, the other thing that happens sometimes that I kind of see is everything's kind of really staying low to the drum. And remember, if we're playing quietly, that's okay, but we do sometimes need to actually play a roll where the sticks are coming up, right? They can't just always be 2 or 3 inches away from the drum. Especially if we're playing a loud roll, or even just a medium loud roll. Right, that's kind of like a mezzo forte, and my sticks are what? 6, 7 inches off the drum. Right, if I'm playing loud. They really have to come off the drum. You don't have to do that, it's okay. Okay, so do 3 beats on the G and then release on the D. 1, 2, ready, go. Cool. Tara. Okay, let's roll on the D. 1, 2, ready, go. What do you think?
Yeah,
Yeah, which hand?
my left hand.
Predictable.
Hand. That's fair.
Right, happens
Yeah.
to all of us. Okay, do it again. It's pretty consistent, right? It's not perfect, but that's okay. It's your first time. Okay, once more. Roll and then release on the G.
Oh.
Yeah. So one of the harder things, right, is changing drums, right? So a lot of times when people are practicing timpani rolls, like there's sort of just the basic mechanics of the hands, and then like you'll maybe go through some kind of like similar to doing maybe long tones on a brass instrument or something, like doing long rolls that then release one way or the other to sort of practice that type of thing. Do it one more time. See if you can connect it a little bit more. Okay, so we have to make sure we're still doing a full stroke, right?
Okay.
Good. Yeah.
Yes!
Okay.
Got there eventually.
Great. Who's up? Eli.
Oh my god.
A little pep in that step, Eli. Let's go.
It's a sprint.
You don't know what planes are made yet.
Okay, I want to hear the same thing. Roll on the D, release on the G. 1, 2, ready, go. Yeah, do it 30 30 more times.
Someone count for me. I can't count that.
I'm
high.
just kidding. Do it a few times.
Oh God. Let me try that again.
Okay, cool. So your beating spots aren't great on the release, but part of the reason for that, sorry, I'm gonna scoot in here for a second, is that all your orientation is towards this drum, right? Which is not necessarily a huge problem, but kind of makes it harder to release here. So usually I'm still facing forward, right, when I'm playing between two drums, and I might turn my body this way, but I'm not completely oriented this way. Does that make sense? So I'm still here. And I'm actually, again, that sounds obvious, but we're not doing it. Look at the drum when you hit it, okay, if you can. You're not even reading music right now, so you should be able to. So notice how my body is actually moving over to the left before I'm even releasing the drum, or releasing the roll. Okay, and then you have to do a more extreme version, basically, if you're rolling between bigger distances, right? That's much harder. You know. Okay. Try a release from here to here, but keep your body centered and just turn your torso. Yeah. Yeah. One more time. Cool. All right. Open your books to page 34A. Good job. I know we have more people to play yet. How are we doing on time? $32. Okay, 34A. As with keyboard instruments, the single stroke roll is used almost exclusively on the timpani. I would say exclusively unless you're basically doing some kind of sound effect-y type thing. My laptop is here. Sustaining the sound can be accomplished by relaxing your wrists. Ignore the part where it says using your fingers. You don't need to do that. Notice that is a different method of playing, and that's fine, but I think I really like to keep things uniform and universal, especially with beginners, because the advantages to doing a totally different technique that rely on your fingers for timpani are, I think, they are so minimal that I don't think it's worth trying to do a completely different thing with your students. Also, there's many good timpanists, professional timpanists, who do not use this method, so I don't think it's worth trying to implement it with a beginning student just to be like, timpani is a different technique. That seems like a problem to me. In order to achieve a good even roll on each drum, you may have to vary your roll speed, right? In other words, like I said, slower rolls on lower drums, higher rolls on smaller drums, and even within the pitch range of the drum, right, a slower roll speed when the pitch is maybe tuned all the way down, versus a higher roll speed when the pitch is tuned in the middle or all the way up. Rolls will be notated with a slash mark through the note stem, right, so we can see, again, in the examples, we have oftentimes these 3 slash marks through a note stem. Or if it's a whole note, they just do it above or below. You will sometimes also see it says tremolo and has like the wavy line. You see that in percussion music too. Probably not super often in like band music, but I definitely see it come up in stuff I play. When rolling, the performer must determine what kind of meter he/she wants to use for the roll base. So what he's talking about here is the idea of a roll skeleton, which we talked a lot about on snare drum. I don't really subscribe to this idea when playing timpani or when playing keyboard percussion instruments. I don't know that it's actually super helpful to think about a roll skeleton on those instruments because it tends to make things sound metered. What do I mean by metered? I don't even know what I mean by that. Sort of. I say it sounds metered, Grady. Yes, exactly. So the problem with, especially on single stroke rolls, thinking about like an exact rhythm for them, I find is that it's hard for students to sort of dissociate between playing a metered roll versus just a sustain. So it does just end up sounding like they're playing 16th notes or 32nd notes, which is not really what we want it to sound like. Even if they're basically playing the tempo of a 16th note or a 32nd note. So there's sort of just two exercises here, which are actually the exact same exercise, but written two different ways, right? And this is like a big, it's a very basic but very commonly used exercise to work on your timpani rolls, and it's just doing basically 8 on a hand, right? We did this on snare drum some, and then filling in and trying to make sure that everything's even. This for like 45 minutes a day for 2 years of my life. At a bunch of different tempos. Okay? The timpanist must often decide whether or not to tie rolls. If there's a tie marking, the roll should stop on the release note. If there's no tie, the performer should stop the roll just before the release note. Okay, so he kind of wrote two different examples, same figure, just with a musical tie, right? It's kind of a subtle difference, and not one that I'd be super concerned about with your beginning players, right? But that's sort of a tie, where we still hear a clear 1, 2, 3, but it's pretty connected, versus, right, a very separated thing. So we were kind of working on that with moving between drums too. So that, I would call that a connected note, a tied note, versus an untied or disconnected note. Basically, all I'm doing is ending the roll a split second earlier so that there's some separation between the two notes. Versus, okay. It's good to think about this. I would say, again, with a beginning student, I'm not all that concerned about it. If they can just play a roll in time, start and stop at the right time on the right drums, that's really good already. Okay? I want to play through some of these in a second, some of these musical examples. Two other things to think about. The forte piano roll. It's funny that this specifically always gets brought up like with early timpani playing because it's such a specific thing, and yet you have to do it a lot as a timpanist, so it's actually kind of useful, right? The forte piano roll is like, think about all these times when you have to start a fanfare or something, and percussionist does a forte piano roll. Okay, so the way we typically do it is something like that. I just wanted to surprise you.
Did you have fun with that one?
I did. And the games have begun. The Hunger Games or something. I don't know. Okay, who wants to try a forte piano roll? Who hasn't got up here today? Grady? Have you played today? Okay, I can't remember. Come on. Okay, so describe what I did.
Yeah, once real hard, and then by the time it started,
Good. Okay, good. Bad. Okay, not bad, not bad. Oh no. Not bad. Okay, what can we do differently? Izzy, help him out.
drop the stick.
That was after the fact.
Even professional drummers.
Relax, just a pitch.
You can stop there.
You don't have to lean into the drum. You can just do it at your level. You kind of like squat it into it.
I did kind of sweat into it.
Try it again.
Okay.
Okay, so you're not doing one thing that Alexis actually described pretty nicely, which is you do the forte. Okay, the drum is ringing for a while, right? So we actually don't need to start the piano roll immediately because it's going to take a while for the drum to come back down anyway. So if you notice, I do it, and then even though technically the sustain has started, the roll has started, I don't need to roll for like at least a half a second. Okay, so bong, and I wait till the sound has decayed a little bit to start the roll. Let's try it.
Okay.
Yeah, and then end louder. Do it again.
Okay.
Can it end louder? Okay, perfect. Let's get up there. Endurance. Excuse me?
But yeah.
Be like a horse, have endurance.
Nice. Let's do a forte piano roll on the G, Marco. Okay, I admire the commitment. This is a little too, not too loud, but too into the drum. Okay. We can play really loud. I play really loud sometimes, but we need to play like not into the drum, but remember to let it bounce off the drum, right? Rebound, rebound, rebound. Once again. You gotta watch the drum, don't watch me. Good. Any helpful hints? Sounds good?
Don't
Okay.
get too close to the original.
Yeah, don't get too close to the
Like right when you started your roll, you got too close, so then you got further away. And it was good.
Great. Maddie, have you played? Oh, get up there. Let's hear forte piano. Roll. Let's go.
I woke up at 6, so I could get down at 6:30.
Let's hear it on the big drum, the lowest drum.
But I want to stay.
Yep.
That was horrendous. I'm gonna fix that. Okay.
Okay, let's do more positive self-talk, everybody.
I'm the example for that.
Every
Fixing it.
I said
It was
every time.
constructive. Okay. My single rolls are so scary.
Once again. Good. So you need to practice, just like we all need to practice, right? One thing is make sure you're not. I noticed like you do the forte, it's good. Your left hand is kind of like sitting on the drum almost. Make sure we're not letting it like stay on the drum. It needs to be low, so keep it off the head. Okay. One more. Who else wants to try it?
I
Tanner.
play on the table pretty often, so.
Let's hear it.
Okay.
Yeah.
What drum?
Yeah, I just feel like I get more of an opportunity.
Let's play it on the high drum.
I already did that. I paid my dues. I did my time playing the clarinet. It was really
I
hard.
did my
It was
time
embarrassing.
methods.
Yeah.
I was so speechless.
When you're able to graduate to the higher plane.
We'd have less crime if we just made them play clarinets.
That's true.
But it hurt my feelings.
All right, let's hear it.
That's stupid.
It's bad.
So give it a second. Bum.
I got too excited.
Okay, not bad. What do we notice?
Left is weaker than the right.
Left is bigger than the right, sure. It's just harder to do it on the small drum because it's higher pitched, the head is smaller, it's tighter, so you have to roll faster.
Faster.
Yeah.
It's a lot harder. It's more inconsistent.
Yeah, so again, you're doing a nice forte stroke, but then you're immediately rolling it loud. Get loud.
Oh, okay.
That's like how loud when I start everyone, when I start the piano part of the forte piano roll, I'm rolling piano. I'm not rolling mezzo forte, right? Good. Okay, so it's okay. Your hands can't quite move that fast, right? Give it a few years. Okay. You'll
Can
understand
you
when
like
you're
roll like this?
You'll understand when you're older.
Go like this.
Okay, Tanner just asked a specific question. Can you roll between two drums? Yes, you can. You will occasionally see it's written just like a D and an A as like a sustain with lines through the whole thing. It's pretty rare. It doesn't really come up in like beginning or intermediate band literature. If you're playing like Berlioz Symphonie Fantastique or something, it comes up in that.
For all of our orchestra. On my bucket list.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying here's an example of a piece of music that ostensibly you know, but you haven't got to that music history yet.
I passed music history.
Okay, so you know all about Symphonie Fantastique.
A little.
Bong, bong, bong.
So, what can you tell us about Symphonie Fantastique?
Like,
What
are you looking
important
for?
musical characteristic does it have?
More specific. Like what are you what kind of character are you talking about?
It has a certain use of motif, and people generally attribute this historical thing to Symphonie Fantastique. Wow, you guys need to pay attention to music history.
We don't like talk about specific songs. We talk about like 50 different
No,
songs.
we definitely talked about it. Do I remember? No.
I only keep the important information.
Idée fixe. Idée fixe.
Yeah, I think we did.
It's the musical motif that runs through the entire symphony.
Oh.
That is the character of the
Yeah.
woman.
It's the what's it called? I was literally just talking about it.
It's called the Idée fixe. I just said it.
I don't know.
Okay, great. Anyway, yeah, so that does come up. The rolling between two drums was pretty rare. Great, thank you. Actually, let's do one more thing while you're here. No, somebody else. Tara, you're back.
Okay. Ask Sam.
Okay.
What's going on? You guys okay?
Yeah. So good. What am I doing?
Okay, let's hear a forte piano roll on this drum.
Okay.
Oh, come on. Now do it with these mouths. Yeah, try my mouth. You sound like $1,000,000. Alright, let's go.
Oh my god. That's terrifying.
Yeah. Okay, so what do we gather from this?
It's also way less forgiving to play when you play it wrong.
Much less forgiving, it's much more exposed. Okay. So mallet choice, there's a lot of factors that go into what mallet to use for any given situation, right? You might need to play forte piano roll with really hard sticks like that at some point, so you probably should practice it. I mean, not literally you guys, but I'm just saying, it is a skill that needs to be worked on. So I'm playing a big forte piano roll. I really don't want to have to use sticks like that. I really want to use something softer because it's more forgiving. It's easier for me to sound even and sustain. However, if I'm playing something super articulate, staccato, rhythmic leading up to it, and then I have to do it, then I just have to do it. Okay. Or what I might do is find a compromise stick, right? Something that's like maybe not quite as hard as I want for the articulate stuff, but not quite as soft as I would want for forte piano roll, and then I get something that's like okay for both things. Yeah. They do. Great.
We have like 15 different, unique mallets in the cabinet, so when you practice them, you can play around with them.
Cool. Okay, we are out of time. Just a reminder, I'm not here on Tuesday. Oh, what?
Tuesday.
Tuesday. You're not here
Just
on Thursday
Tuesday.
afternoon. I got confused.
So I'll post something for you.
Where would you like these?
Just the one on Cabbage. It is Thursday.
Correct. No, you're good.